me like 5 minutes, I guess I can push it.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Two Old Goats Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Patrick Gaughan, along with Bryan J. Bebe up there. And if you're noticing that we don't have a picture for somebody, it's because our guest, Evan Gelistico, got puked on. That is no lie. So, at least you're starting the show off. The way we end the show is just chaotic and fucking horrible. Also, I did want to introduce this little guy. This little guy is Robert Danzig. He's a stray we found in our neighborhood, been running around and stuff. And so we took him in, got him checked out. He was chipped, and his owners moved to California after he got out. So we got to keep him. So hello, Robert. All right. I'm going to put you down, buddy. I know you're not happy. I was just showing you off to the world. Oh, shit. There he is. Wow.
I changed shirts.
Oh, awesome. Good. Can you turn your camera off again, please? Good. That is
absolutely. I get it. I totally understand. Sorry, guys.
All right.
You're good. You can come back.
Well, first off, let's start off with Evan. How you doing?
Good. Like it was said, my 5-month-old puked all over my shirt before starting, so I handed him off to his mother, and then came up, just started talking to you guys, and then when we did the intro, I just threw on a shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate having you on. I've been a fan for quite a long time. Back in the old Metro Pro days, I believe I remember seeing your first match there.
Probably.
It's been quite a while, and I know we've seen each other at various shows I've helped out at. All that, and I do want to say, and I say this all the time, I always give props to Anarchy, you and Matt Jackson, because when the NWL shut down and Matt, with the famous tweet, "Is this thing still on?" or "Is this thing on?"
Yeah.
I immediately, well, I didn't immediately. I waited a couple of weeks because I knew it takes a lot of effort when you run your own independent company. I wasn't aware of who he had helping out, but I messaged him. I said, "Hey, if you need a cameraman, I will more than happy to help out, come up, help set up, tear down, all that." So that was my first taste of Anarchy. And, well, at least the backside of it. I've been to shows before, but he gave me the opportunity, and at the end of the night, I took, I want to say like 1,200 pictures.
Oh, wow.
Not all of them good. I mean, they're action shots and all that. So at the end of the night, I just handed him the card, and thanked him for the opportunity. And that got me I started talking to Gabe that day. I started talking to Greg Jovi that day, and kind of, made my way around talking to people, and ended up helping out Journey Pro and CSW, Fountain City, but I always wanted to thank you guys on air. Unfortunately, Mr. Jackson has a camera phobia, so.
Brother, good luck getting him on a podcast, unless it's about basketball. Yeah. Like, he's my brother, but he just does not give a fuck. He's just like, exactly. Is it wrestling? Don't care. I deal with it enough, in the normal day. Is it basketball? I'll be on for that.
So I just want to thank you. And,
we'll just do a ruse.
All that. So
we'll just tell him it's a basketball podcast. Say you did an hour-long basketball podcast tonight. Because if he's not watching, he's not going to be on. I doubt he's listening to it. And then we'll get him on. We'll be like, "Fooled you. Where'd you go?"
No, probably not.
It would be like, "Gotcha. It's not basketball."
Yeah, it's not. And then there he goes. Yeah, that's exactly it.
I can't tell you how many times he signed up for a podcast, and then canceled like 3 days before. I'm like, don't worry, Evan's gonna come on in my place. And it's like,
Evan's gonna be there.
okay, I can do that, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, and like I said, when I messaged you, I said we say we're a wrestling / comedy podcast, but we have wrestlers on, comedians on, people in the wrestling business, and we just shoot the shit. So,
yeah, we don't. So many people, that was one of the things, so many people do the play-by-plays of last week's Impact or Dynamite or Raw, and we're just like, why,
Yeah.
So now this was more just fun. Like my I shared the post on Facebook about the show tonight, and I was like, watch me interview a character I hate. God damn, you're kitty claws in my leg. Oh God.
Oh yeah. One of my cats has back claws, and so when he jumps on you at first, like soft paws, and then the back claws dig in. You're like, oh.
Oh yeah, he's got all of them. I think he's got like 12 paws that have just but anyway, no, your stuff with oh God, and now I forgot what it was called. The
commission.
The commission. Okay, yeah, I was walking upstairs and when I got into the room, I forgot about it. But yeah, your stuff at the commission was so over the top obnoxious. You guys were so fun to hate. That was such a blast, and you guys are so fucking good at it. And it was funny too because our buddy Lucha Chris Murray man, and he was like, just wait till you see Evan in the ring. And then we got to see you. I think it was one of the last shows that Journey Pro did. I finally got to see you in the ring, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, so yeah. Not only you got both things. I mean, you got the obnoxious talking down, but fuck, in the ring you can go too. Which, dude, that's fucking awesome. Hats off to you.
Oh, thank you.
How long?
I mean, those days are behind me now, but I appreciate it.
Really? So that was just a special occasion?
No, I had open heart surgery, and then a year later, my doctor said, "Yeah, like your heart's healed, but the valve." Like the walls of the valves are still kind of separated, and it'll take more time for like it to fully come together and heal. So your body can't take the stress of wrestling and shit like that.
I remember that now because I remember everybody all over Twitter, and we were all like, "What the fuck happened to Evan?" And okay,
if I'm not mistaken, it was the same thing that it was the aortic dissection, correct?
Yes,
that's what killed John Ritter, and
I was very lucky to survive.
One of my wife and I's best friends, she had that happen to her. She was at the dentist, and she is deathly afraid of dentists, and her heart rate went up, and luckily she had her surgery it took forever for her surgery.
Yeah, I think mine was 10 hours.
Yeah, it's a long surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But now, do you have because this happened, same thing happened to my sister-in-law, and they said the only thing that kept her alive was the membrane around the heart didn't rupture. So basically her heart split, and the only thing was like just this membrane. Yeah, it was because your heart's like in like a balloon basically. But they actually went in, they put a pig valve in there. So now, are you completely human, or do you have some animal parts in you?
So I have animal parts. They offered to be a cyborg or a minotaur. I chose minotaur because if I chose a cyborg, I would have to be taking specialized pills every day, which I'm still doing anyway. But if I did the minotaur, there's a chance that after so long I could get off it. But the catch is, in 6 to 8 years, I'll have to get the surgery again because the overlayer or whatever they put on will deteriorate in your body. So we'll see. And then, maybe in 8 years I'll do the cyborg thing, but who knows,
You might as well at that point,
Well, I'm hopeful that in 8 years medicine is advanced far enough that it's like, we got you. You do the surgery, you're done.
Let's put some DNA in a 3D printer, and here's your new heart.
Yeah.
And by then you'll be 30, right? So I mean, you're still on track for your wrestling career. You'll be 30. You'll be about ready to start up again. And
I mean, wrestling's not going anywhere. Neither am I. So hopefully,
I mean, I have some ideas. We can still have that Matt Jackson, Evan Gelistico, the commission farewell match in Kansas City. I'm still on that train to where I will take a finger poke of doom if it comes down to it. I will learn to take a back bump, and I will do that for you.
Yeah, well, yeah. Right now, if we did that, it might be the ultimate farewell. Let's hold off on that.
No, I can take a back bump.
You feeling all right though?
Yeah, it was hard to hear because after a year of working out and getting back in shape and like doing all that, and he's like, no, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
But Matt actually got together with our head camera guy Tommy, and he edited like a really nice video for me, and that really helped a lot. I think because one of the things I'm afraid of the most is like being forgotten in pro wrestling. Like how many wrestlers just don't make a mark? You know what I mean? Like they wrestle for so long, but then they just go away and forgotten. But like that showed to me that I've touched enough people. Hopefully appropriately, that even though I'm done in ring, I'm still a part.
Absolutely. So now what are you doing?
So I help a lot with the backstage stuff. And while Sean is wrestling, I take over commentary for him. I took over Circus Maximus 3 matches while he wrestled his match, and I took the following 2. I believe it's on IWTV, so check it out. I'm very nervous about it. I haven't watched it yet. It's my first time doing real serious commentary.
And this is for Anarchy?
Anarchy.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
And you are a part of the management team there and ownership group, correct?
Yes. I mean, Matt is the primary owner. Right. The rest of us are just kind of the team that helps run it. And we've got a pretty solid team.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've seen it many times in action with you guys, and I listen to the podcast, obviously. I've listened to their, and you recently changed the name. You can plug that if you want. I mean,
sure. So it was the Dollar Menu Mid-Carders, but then we changed it to Dollar Menu Discourse because we're going to cover a lot more than just Anarchy, as you know if you listen. And then the Patreon covers more of the backstage stuff that we don't talk about as much on the regular podcast.
So I've tried to get on the Patreon before. I have problems with that. I had problems with that app. I had like a gift card that I used or some like Google points or whatever. And so I was able to get it for a month. And then after that month, it stopped. And then I couldn't log back on to Patreon. So I couldn't hear anything. And I'm like, so Patreon and I are not friends right now.
Fair.
It may come back, but I listened to that. And you've been making the rounds doing Gabe and Chris Goff's podcast. And
I did. I've known Chris for a long time. And, I've also known Gabe, to my dismay. I'm just kidding, Gabe.
Yeah. And I do promise we're not going to give out shoot names here.
Oh, that's fine.
I know. I laughed so hard when he did that. I was like, what? And he could put out like 5 names, and I still wouldn't pick which one it was,
They're all so wild, right?
I mean, shit, we've been doing this I've known Bryan for almost 5 years now, and I still don't know his last name. He's just Bryan. As I was doing the intro, I'm like, hey, I'm Patrick Gahn, and in my brain I'm going, what the fuck is Bryan's name?
It's J Baby.
Yep, that's what you are, Bryan J Baby.
And Evan, or Mighty Micah Hague, right?
Yeah.
So Mighty Micah grew up with not grew up, but in high school, he became best friends with my son. So I've known Micah, I've known the Premier, I've known let's see, who else was that? Kenny Alfonso, since they were like sophomores in high school. So
wow. Yeah,
I've literally seen them like kind of grow up as men and become wrestlers, and awesome wrestlers at that. But Micah, we were helping out at like the second CSW show. I think that's the one that Buddy Shepard made an appearance at.
Yes.
And we're walking around and someone's like, Bryan, and they're like, I don't know your last name. And Micah just walks by behind me and says, I just always call him Bryan J, baby. So it just kind of stuck, I mean, my last name is like 7 letters long and no one will ever remember it. So I just use that.
That's fair. Totally understand that. Like, I can't tell you how many times people get Gelistico wrong. So that's why when Chikara came and like, oh, like you don't have to change your name. I was like, yeah, I'll go with Pistol Danger because it's a silly name. And I was like, we'll just go with that because everybody can say Danger.
I actually like that one.
Okay, so you wrestle with Chikara?
Yeah.
Okay, so because I'm coming into this kind of blind. I know you from Journey Pro. That's pretty much, and then what Bryan or other people that have done the St. Louis stuff have told me. So, like, what's a little rundown of your where you worked?
Oh man, I worked all over. In Texas, I worked a lot of promotions. Recently, I started an angle and then unfortunately ended that angle immediately because of the open heart surgery for Inspire Pro, Biss and Max. I've known Biss for what feels like almost 2 decades. He's a good dude. Inspire Pro is great. Check out their YouTube and Twitter. Give them a follow. They put on a lot of good wrestling. Metro Pro, NWL, Chikara. I've wrestled North Dakota, Minnesota, Alabama, Arkansas, like all California, all over.
Nice. Now, were you driving everywhere?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna get Pat. Pat needs to start listening to those episodes and just hear about the car rides with you guys and some of the stuff with Gary J and you guys all going around. It's funny, but there are certain spots when like Matt's talking about the bag. I'm not going to give it away, but when he talks about the bag, I know how I would be in that situation. But I mean, now it's hilarious. Back then, probably not so much.
Well, and I can relate. I've been a stand-up comic for years, and before I moved out here, I was in northern Indiana, southern Michigan area, and there was a group of us that we would drive around all over the Midwest. So yeah, the car stories. I mean, we had car jokes that we could never tell on stage. You have car stories that you can never, just like musicians have their bus songs that they're never going to play live because but yeah, and it was funny too because I listened to like a bunch of podcasts, and hear Kevin Nash talk and other people talk, and they're like they would learn more from the car ride about their match than the actual match themselves, and I would learn more about my sets from the other guys because I was the rookie. Everybody else had more time than me, and they're like, "You should have said this. You should have said," and I'm sure it's the same with you. It's like, dude, you should have did A, B, and C, but you did CBA, and it was fucked up. And and you're, oh, okay, yeah.
You're your own worst critic as a wrestler or as a comic because you're like, fuck this, or I hit this note wrong or I missed this thing. Oh yeah, I get it. I love Kevin Nash. I need to find the rest of the Death of WCW series they did, but he's got my favorite lines where they're talking about like the downfall, and he just looks dead at the camera. He goes, "Check still cashed," and I'm like, "That's such a Kevin Nash thing to say."
It is really. It is.
I was talking to my wife about him and stuff. She's like, "Oh, he's an asshole." I was like, "He's just business. He just, wherever the money is, I mean, yeah, he is kind of an asshole about it, but but yeah, he's a businessman first and foremost."
Well, wrestling is first and foremost a business, and when you're on the level he is, you're an independent contractor that's contracted to a promotion, which doesn't make a fucking lick of sense. So, like, yeah, you look out for yourself and your friends. So I get it.
Absolutely. So, Pat didn't see your early run in Metro Pro as the commission, so he didn't see the non-flashy. It was business, like black suits that they wore over their gear. Had to be hot as hell.
It was, and then we figured out we didn't need to wear the gear. We could just wrestle in the black slacks, and it made everything so much easier, quite frankly. If you go back, Metro Pro is still all on YouTube. You can find it. It is. I've been messaging Chris Goff because there's one match that isn't on YouTube, and that's when Matt and I teamed with Demolition to take on. It was a 4-on-4, and Matt's favorite tag team is Demolition, like by a fucking mile. So like we did it. We got former WWE artist Rob Schamberger. I can actually say his name, Rob Schamberger, to do our face paint. And
No way.
Demolition looked at us and we're like, "How is your face paint better than ours?" I'm like, "Well, we had a professional."
Yeah, we had the
But
professional do it.
yeah, it was a blast teaming with them and like listening to the stories they had about working like 3 towns in one day, like afternoon show, like mid show, and then main event the night show. And it's crazy. And they were just really cool guys.
Definitely is.
Like I've run into my fair share of like shitbird veterans, and Demolition were super cool.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved them. I mean, when I was a little kid, I think we're all pretty good. You might be a little bit younger than us. Bryan and I are pushing 50. So
Yeah, I'm 28. So yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're a fucking baby. Back in the 80s, but yeah, watching Demolition when they first came out, I mean, I was 8, 9 years old, somewhere around there. They scared the shit out of me. And now I look at them. My wife and I were watching the old Rumbles, and she's a new fan to wrestling because of me. And we're watching the Rumbles, and she's like, "Who the fuck are these leather daddies?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, you're right." I was like, "These guys scared the shit out of me," but yeah, now they're like some kind of gay kink going on. Okay, but no, I fucking love them. And God, I hope they get in the Hall of Fame. Just to get I know the Hall of Fame's bullshit, but still to get the recognition they deserve.
I imagine they will. Like. They have to. Like they're one of the most decorated tag teams in the WWF.
Iconic. Was it Axe? Was it Larry? I forget his name.
Oh, Henning. No, that was Mr. Perfect's dad.
Yeah.
All I know is Axe and Smash.
Yeah, Smash was Barry Darso, and then Axe. But Axe, I actually saw a video of Axe before he was Axe, body slamming Andre, and he had him up like that, and so I just saw this a couple of years ago. So yeah, that whole Andre had never been body slam thing was total BS.
You can just YouTube it. Like Junkyard Dog is slammed Andre.
I think Kamala did it.
Slammed Kamala. like Hulk Hogan. And I'm gonna blow your minds here. Is a filthy fucking liar.
Wait, what?
I know. Like Terry Bollea will always tell you the truth. Hulk Hogan, that dude will lie to your face.
Man, I always call him Terry Baloney by the way, just because that's first time I ever saw that. I was younger and I was like, looks like baloney. I think I'll call him that.
Yeah,
this is before all the scandals and stuff. So, so I did want to say, you like me are a collector of things. We don't collect the same things, but I have some of the collection that you do of some stuff. You are very into comics.
Yes.
And
I'll be honest though, I haven't read anything since my son was born 5 months ago. So I am even farther back than I was probably like 2 months behind anyway, dealing with a pregnant wife. So I'm even back. But once my son can handle his own shit, I'm like, I've got years of comics ready to go.
See, now's the time when you can read comics as a bedtime story, right?
I could, but my wife won't let me. We're reading him Chronicles of Narnia now.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm going to read him Lord of the Rings.
Okay, at least you're starting with the age-appropriate stuff.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
And then going into Lord of the Rings, that's perfect.
And then at 3 years old, you'll be reading Tolstoy to him. And
well, my wife recently read the Narnia books, and there's like 7 of them.
Something like that, yeah.
There's a lot.
I mean, there's quite a bit that you have to get through first. But so anyway, you have quite a few comics, and I'm assuming. And the episode, what was it? About a month ago, you had, I think it was for Pride. You did a.
So my buddies and I also, not only do I have the St. Louis Anarchy podcast, I'm in your discourse, I also, with my buddies, do a comic podcast called My Big Fat Pull List podcast. And we've slowly transitioned over to Dominant Discourse. And I got to give a speech at the St. Louis Science Center about the diversity of the X-Men for Pride Month. And because they do First Friday every Friday of the month. It's a topic, and they invited us to come out and talk, and I talked for like 45 minutes about different X-Men that fit the categories.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is really awesome. Cool.
You learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of research and everything that went into it. Like it was very intense. It was probably one of the most important things I've done because it's an important topic.
It is a very important topic, and I never knew that one of my favorite X-Men was a part of the community.
Which one?
Iceman has always been my favorite. I don't know why, but like when I was young and the cartoons were on in the 80s and I was like, yeah, he's my favorite.
That was Spider-Man and Friends, wasn't it?
Yep, and his amazing friends.
And his amazing friends, yeah.
Because he hasn't shown up in 97 yet, but I imagine he will soon, like maybe second season. Because X-Men 97 is amazing.
Now, because they just continued the same animation style. They just continued the original X-Men series, right?
Yeah, they updated the animation, I would say, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, and and I feel like they cleaned up a lot of like long and complicated storylines and made them simple for television, and sometimes that doesn't work. So I was very thankful that the show writer, hopefully he comes back, did an amazing job of like weaving all these storylines into just one season.
I gotta check it out. See, the original one, I loved it at first, but then it just seemed like they did the Sentinels to death. And every time he turned around, the Sentinels were the bad guy, and it was like, come on, guys, and they were, or it kind of like Doctor Who, where everything's, you're fighting all these things, and then the Daleks are back, and it's like, and you have a 6-episode arc with the Daleks, and it's like, come on,
or the Cybermen,
or Cybermen. It's like, give me something new. I don't know. Of course, then you get too much new, and you're like, oh, where are the Daleks? I don't know. Maybe there's no pleasing anybody, but
yeah, there's a balance to find it.
But yeah, I just remember being like, oh, the Sentinels again, and turning it off, and I think that's what turned me away from it.
Well, I definitely recommend 97. It's terrific.
All right, I will check it out.
Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing that, but now where is it streaming? Do you know?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Oh, we're good then. Yep, I've got Disney Plus.
Yeah, the mouse owns all now.
Mm-hmm.
The mouse is, I think, looking into buying Jukebox's network too. So,
I mean, if you can't sell out, brother, the mouse has got money.
Oh yeah, get that money.
He does. Probably get more from the mouse than anyone else.
Yeah, we might get tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars.
High in the tens.
Yeah, about 17.
Okay, here's a question that Bryan and I like to ask every episode to all our guests. So, from what you said before, traveling all over the country and stuff, with the wrestling and stuff, and I'm sure you've traveled without just on your own. Where is one place that you like to go for the food, or for a specific restaurant, or a specific kind of food? Just one place where he was like, hey, I'm getting booked here, sweet, I can eat X.
So this is selfish, and I said this on Chris's the Worst Territories podcast. In St. Louis, there's like a series of streets that are all named after states, and they are very safety averse, if you will.
Sure.
But they have some of the best food there. There is a taco joint that I love. And then like a couple miles from there's a Nicaraguan joint.
Oh, nice.
Is so fucking good. It's what turned me on to chimichurri sauce to put on everything.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
It's so good.
Oh, chimichurri sauce is good.
Yeah. In Texas, they have really good barbecue. Everybody says like, oh, my state has the best barbecue. Texas has really good barbecue as well. Like I generally would try and stop and get there. They also have if you're traveling down, I think it's I-35, they have like just a rest stop that's just kolaches, and
I love those.
Really good too. I'm trying to think of like other places I've gone that I'm just like the food here is terrific. Because honestly, a lot of my travel was just
Gas station
drive.
food.
Yeah, drive X hours. Hopefully, wrestle the same amount of minutes that I did hours, and then immediately jump in the car and like hit it back.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, like
And-
one of the worst trips travel wise, and like I don't mean travel wise, but it's like I'm a huge Ghostbuster fan, and
Oh yeah.
we went to New York, but by the time we got there, I was exhausted, so I passed out, wrestled, and then I was like, well, we could stay an extra day and go to the firehouse, and
Mhm.
everybody's like, we got to go. And it's like, understand because we all have work the next day, so
Oh yeah.
like I would have loved to have made time to go to the Ghostbuster firehouse.
so,
Okay.
so you could tell us like how good the Love's hot dogs are and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're not bad. I prefer
Yeah.
their little burgers, but yeah.
Yeah. but yeah, more gas station food, maybe a Flying J diner here and there.
Oh my God, or Denny's if we're lucky. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So really quick, now I'll have Pat listen to the podcast about the story of when you were all dressed up on the hill waiting for your turn to run in and
Oh
you
yeah,
had
yeah,
Jimmy John's
yes,
delivered. I'm gonna
yeah.
have Pat listen to that podcast for that story alone because it's
Yeah, send me a link to it
hilarious.
because I'll listen to it on the way to work tomorrow.
You just listen to the whole podcast, brother.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
I like to think, Matt and I with Sean and Dorian and Anakin and Gary, like with all our rotating guests, we have a pretty solid podcast. Like,
It's really good.
yeah,
I mean, I listen to it all the time with just you and Matt alone, but
okay.
Dorian and all that, and I'm like, okay, I know Dorian's voice, and then I'm trying to, well, who did he wrestle as? What was his? To this day, I still don't know, but I know his voice, and I know I've seen him. I believe.
In
So,
NWL, he was the $1 billion brother, Emmett Dubois.
yes, yes, I have seen him. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good story. There's a bunch. I had a lot of good Chikara stories. I'm sorry the way it ended so poorly. So I was a big fan of Chikara.
Now,
And every year I pitch Matt, well, you know what? We should just risk Anarchy's financial situation and run a King of Trios. And every year he's like, shut the fuck up. No.
Yeah. No, we're not going to do that.
where's Chikara based out of?
It was based out of Philadelphia.
That's right. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was East Coast or West Coast. No, that was all I had.
Philadelphia is the place I've been to 3 times in 3 years and still have not had a Philly cheesesteak.
I was just there.
Granted, I've only been to the airport.
Yeah.
Still have not had a cheesesteak.
Well, Brian, if it makes you feel any worse, I was there last week and had a Pat's cheesesteak. And yeah.
I know. I saw.
Yep. And then
I commented.
The next day we went to New Jersey. That's where I grew up. The next day we went to New Jersey and the old pizza place I used to work at is still open. So I got a slice of Finizio's pizza and I got another cheesesteak there. And yeah, they were both delicious.
Okay. I will say, if you come to St. Louis, do not go to Emo's. It is terrible fucking pizza.
No,
I've been there before.
It's, oh my God. It's like once a year. Like I just get this like, I can't be that bad. I'll get like a medium pepperoni. It'll be fine. And then I spend the rest of the night on the toilet. It's just not a good time.
I tell you what, I worked in St. Louis 9 weeks out of the year, not like last year, because our St. Louis branch needed help. Well, I stayed at the Streets of St. Charles in the Drury Inn.
Okay.
So one day for lunch, we were at lunch. They're like, yeah, we're going to get Emos. So I was like, yeah, I'll get Emos. So I got a large, ate most of it. And I tell you what, I don't think I ate for like a day and a half after that. And like, I still have, like, this is a Tuesday. And I'm like, yeah, but I do like Bellacinos.
Yes. And toasted raviolis are good.
Oh, toasted raviolis fire.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff. And yeah, that and gooey butter cake are 2 of the St. Louis things that I love. But yeah, Emo's pizza. That's like calling your ex That wasn't that bad. Let's see how it ended.
Those black eyes healed. She didn't hit that hard. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't need all that money anyway. I mean, so.
Right.
Well, it's funny, like when I tell, so I'd work at like a CSW or whatever, and I'd see like Mike Outlaw and Davey Vega there all the time. So I was like, "Hey, Dave, I'm gonna be in St. Louis. Where should I eat?" So Vega's thing, "Do you like burgers?" I was like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "We should go eat at the casino." It's like, well, hold on. The burger at the casino is going to cost me like 5 times what it would cost at McDonald's, And then Outlaw, love Mike Outlaw. He's like, "Do you like Korean food?" I was like, "Yeah." "Well, you've got to eat Soul Taco." And now every time I go to St. Louis, I go to Soul Taco.
So there's a burger joint called High Point, and they have pretty solid burgers that won't, bankrupt you.
Sure.
I think my wife's from St. Louis area, and I think we ate. Do they have ice cream there too? Or am I thinking
Ted Drew's? It is real good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We got ice cream there one day. I went to the Fitz place.
Okay. Yeah.
I work for Costco, and I opened a store out there last year, 2 years ago. So I'm like, 2 years ago, shit. But yeah, opened a store in U City, and it's right by Del Mar. So went to the Fitz down there. Oh, that's some good shit. Oh, fuck. It was funny too. I forgot about the show tonight. My wife is like, "What are we doing for dinner?" And I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, we should go out." And so I'm fucking starving, and now we're talking all this food. God damn it.
As we normally do.
Yeah. But normally I eat before the show, and now, today was my day off, and I just got back from a week of camping, and then I had one day off, and then been working every day. And so today I was just like, I'm not doing shit. I literally sat on the couch, played Xbox for like 5 hours straight. I'm just like, no, I just need to unwind and relax. So my whole fucking day's off, and now I gotta get some fucking food. But anyway,
I recommend tacos. Get tacos. You can never go wrong with tacos.
Pat needs a Snickers. Hey, what's up, Luch? Need more than a fucking Snickers. But yeah. All right. What's next? What do you got?
So you've done a lot of traveling and stuff. Now are you still going to be taking bookings for maybe a managerial role with Buddy Shepard, or
I mean, I probably would.
Be?
Yeah, or like commission stuff. It would just depend on like the date and the time. Like, I can't leave my wife for more than probably a day. I think that would be unfair.
Right.
But like, I actually just went like 2 hours out to Anakin's show. He ran like a tax return show. And it was like a silly, fun thing to do. And Buddy Shepard hosted a game of Kahoot.
The hell's Kahoot?
And it was really fun. Kahoot is like an online test you can do.
Oh,
and basically it like gives you like, here's the question, you have 4 answers. Whoever gets it right and the fastest gets the most points.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Nice.
I think that'll be on IWTV soon, so keep an eye out for that. Anakin Murphy's tax return.
Anakin, because he's only been doing this a little while, right? He's still a baby, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, but he's so good.
No, I'm not. I'm not denying that. That's what I'm. That's
he's
what
amazing.
I was getting at. Yeah. Is just like, he's only got a few years in, and he is crushing it. He's a blast to watch.
There's a lot of young up and comers in Anarchy, like Tommy Davis and Ashlyn Alexander are doing great. They're traveling a lot. I think they're jumping in cars with Gary and everybody. Like, it's been terrific.
Well, shit, yeah. Just sitting under that learning tree of Gary J's got to be, that's worth the price of admission itself. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's terrific.
Absolutely. And the maybe now and I mean, like you said, you're going to be covering for Sean when he's wrestling and doing more of that. Eventually, you'll just have to kick him out and make him wrestle a few more matches, you know? You can just say, or, you know, actually Sean's really I like him on commentary. He does a really good job.
He and Sophie are an
You know,
amazing duo for Anarchy. Like, I am
they really are.
very happy with how great they are.
They play off each other well, and I think you'll fit right in there with
Yeah.
Sophie or with Sean. So I'm
I
looking forward to
I
that.
got the call with Sophie, and that was really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So a 3-man booth maybe, or a 3-person booth, I should say.
I'm doing a lot of running around otherwise, so probably not. But every now and then I'll sit in.
Yeah. I know actually helping out with shows, and I see what like CSW with Strider and Trinity. They're, you know, you can barely talk to them, and I
Yeah,
know it's the same way.
I always feel bad because I always want to talk like comics and stuff with Camaro and Surge, but like I'm just like, yeah, did you see Deadpool and Wolverine? I loved it too. Gotta go, and it's just like running around doing whatever.
There is no time for anything.
Yeah.
So since we are Kansas City podcast, you want to plug a show that's coming here in October?
So in October, on a Tuesday, we're going to be going back. Oh God, what's it called now? Cadillacs and something.
Guitars and Cadillacs.
Guitars and Cadillacs. We're going to be running Journey to Anarchy, and it's a return to form. I'm very excited for it. Oh man, I'm trying to think of the last people I wrestled in that building, and I want to say it might have been the Besties, me and Kenny versus the Besties.
I think it was.
Yeah. I really liked teaming with Kenny. Like, that was a fun little duo. The Diamonds Are Forever team. It's super fun. Having Greg manage us. Like, Greg's so good at wrestling, at managing, at comedy. Like, anything Greg applies himself to, he excels at in the world of wrestling. Like,
one of my absolute favorite people.
Yeah, so good, so smart, so knowledgeable. You know, and just to be able to be on a team with him and Kenny was super fun, and I was really excited because I think we were in the middle of the lead up to the Journey tag belts, which unfortunately never manifested.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. Oh, I agree.
What Murray man is asking, wasn't Shotzi on one of his last matches at Kansas Hall?
I wrestled Shotzi for 4 hours and 15 minutes at a Kansas Hall, and it was just a war back and forth.
Barn burner.
Yeah, if you ask Matt, it maybe was 6 hours. So yeah, it was a good. She's incredibly good. Obviously, so she's in Big East.
Yep,
she's in Paul's country now. If you catch the drift.
Paul signs the checks. Yes. So
yeah, I remember Luch talking about that. Yeah, I think it was her last indie match before she went to
maybe.
WWE.
Well, that show might have been her last show because I wrestled her first, and then she wrestled Wyatt later in the day as the main event, I think. So that if that would have been her and Wyatt. I would have been her second to last.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know her timetable for that stuff before she had to report in. So
I know her and Christian Rose had a hell of a run together.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah, that highlight promo package that they played too was so good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Rose is really good. Don't tell him I said that though, but he's very good at wrestling.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, well, and even if we post it on social media, he won't see it. So yeah,
I will. I'll pump it right in his face. He knows.
No,
I have a little bond.
In fact, Bryan and I met at the very last Kansas Hall show right before the pandemic.
Was that the last one?
That was my first Journey Pro show. Is because it was February because it was the week of the March show. They canceled it.
That's when I cut the best promo ever. During intermission, Lucha Chris wanted to have fans cut promos. I didn't know what to do, and I had my my little furry Viking helmet hat, and sunglasses my aviators. So I had them on. He gives me the microphone, and I just start, and then I get in 3 or 4 different poses. Don't say a word, and then just drop the mic and walk off.
And it was great too because we worked it out with Gabe and them that we were going to be able to get a couple of free passes for the next month's show. So somebody won 2 free tickets to the show that never happened. I was like, fuck. But yeah, so it'll be fun going back to Kansas because oh man, that place is cool. I mean, except for the low ceilings and the giant fan of death.
I believe they got rid of the murder fan. I believe that's
gone. But I mean, outside of that, that place was so cool. I wish I would have gone to more shows there.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I really like that place. It was a good night.
Yeah.
And
so we have, because I saw it was the artist formerly known as Warhorse, Jake Purnell, and versus Gary J. Is that the only match that's announced right now?
So far, more matches will be coming soon, but the show's in October, so we got a minute.
Yeah. You do. Well, that match alone, like, that'll draw so many people in.
That's
just
a huge
just having the Journey Pro name. I bought front row tickets that day. I was like, nope, yep, we got it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's got anything going on a Tuesday. Why not come out and have a really good time?
That's my normal day off from work, so
yeah.
I'm definitely going to be there.
So yeah.
Well, actually, so I don't remember whose it was, but I retweeted the hell out of that, and then one of them I was like, I made a comment of, well, you know what happened the last time Anarchy ran a show here? Because the last time that Anarchy ran a show here is when Gabe announced that Journey Pro was starting, and so I was like, okay, fine. You know, I thought it would be funny to. I don't think anyone liked it or even saw it, but then so a couple nights later, I texted Walter. Like, hey, Walter, you need some help that day? He's like, Bryan, I'll always use your help, sure. Because I helped it pretty much except for like after the pandemic with my job, I couldn't help as much with Journey Pro, but I did still help them. But he's like, yeah, I'm not going to turn down your help, Bryan. And I was like, so is this a precursor to what may happen in the future? And he's just like, man, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I didn't get to go out on my terms the last time. And he's like, we'll see how it goes. So I'm not saying that it is going to happen, but that's just the first thought that popped into my head was, you know what Gabe did at that show? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Talking with Walter, I think he prefers not being the owner of a show, but helping run and produce a show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Being the owner is ungodly amounts of work, whereas, like, you know, just being a member of the team significantly less. So I think he's happy where he is. I hope he is, but I understand going out not on your terms. So
exactly. So and I love that he still helps out with Anarchy and the sound and all that.
Yeah, Walter's invaluable. He's a huge member of our crew.
He's one of my favorite people.
He is such a fucking sweetheart too. I mean, just very, very kind soul. You know. We got to sit next to him. There's a group of Journey Pro people that would get a suite when AEW came to town, and so we got to sit next to him, and he and my wife were next to each other, just like all night. We're driving home. She's like, and Walter said this, and Walter said that. I was like, I didn't hear any of that shit. But yeah, she's telling me she's telling me all the stuff that you know. But yeah, he and I BS too. I love Walter. My favorite Walter factoid though is when the what was it when Luke Langley kicked his glasses off and broke his glasses. I got to be the one that fixed his glasses because I actually worked in the optical department at Costco. So.
Fair. I think my favorite Walter fact is that he was in NCAA football. What year was it? He's in a college football game. I can't remember the year. Oh man.
Oh, that's awesome.
What the fuck? What's he doing in there?
He used to be a player. Go back, like in the Dollar Menu Discourse archives. There's an episode where we interview Walter and he talks about it. Yeah.
I remember that now. And
oh my
yeah.
God. Yeah, you definitely text me a link to the podcast because oh my God, I want to check this out. This sounds fun as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Spotify and all the other places you can find it.
That's what I use, Spotify.
Oh yeah, I think Spotify is just the easiest thing. Yeah.
That's hysterical. Oh my gosh.
I don't have any Walter factoids other than he's a friend.
That's a good one right there.
And I love the guy. So,
well,
you know.
And it was so sweet because after the show, his wife comes up to his wife, just as sweet as him. I mean, you know, but his wife comes up to my wife and I, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, thanks so much for fixing his glasses here," and hands us a couple of Journey Pro pendants that or necklaces. And I was like, "You didn't have to do anything." She's like, "No, go ahead." And I was like, "Well, fuck, this is awesome,
You're helping a friend."
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, and I'm sure it's the same with Anarchy. That's one of the things I missed about, the Journey Pro. You had that family feeling and stuff, and I'm sure being an offshoot of Anarchy that, Anarchy is the same way. I still have yet to get to an Anarchy show, but it's just because we do the 1 day turnaround. So it's 4 hours out there, 3-4 hours for a show, and then 4 hours back, 3.5-4 hours back. That's rough. So yeah,
believe me, I want to get to Texas and Philadelphia.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely want to get out there for a show.
One day I'm going to kidnap you one day and we'll go out there.
I mean, I've had people who just make like a small weekend out of it, come out Friday, stay over.
We've been talking about, because that's where my wife's from. She's like, oh yeah, we got to do a St. Louis weekend. I might talk to her about that, and then Saturday.
Chase from the I-70 Hot Tag and I went out there for.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was about a year and a half ago, and then like GCW was the next night, and we were messaging each other. He's like, "Hey, do you want to, after St. Louis Anarchy, let's just stay, go to GCW, and then come back Sunday."
Well, I mean, even if it's not wrestling related, there's so much to do in St. Louis. Like the St. Louis Zoo is free, and it is amazing.
All the museums are free, aren't they?
Yeah, the Science Center is amazing. The Art Museum, just walking around Forest Park is really nice. Like there's so much to do around here.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to Slam. Just 'cause my wife's an art major, and she's got me into art a lot. It was last week I got to go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and they had the Van Gogh sunflowers, and I just stood there and stared at it for like 10 minutes. Just got lost in it. Van Gogh's my absolute favorite. But yeah, so to actually see one of the sunflowers in person, oh my God, that was fucking awesome. So, and then, and those are all the things that she mentioned too. She's like the art museum, the zoo, the science center, Forest Park, she's like, we could do all that for free. So yeah, we got to make a weekend out of it. She was like, we could do the arch, but you might be too tall to fit in the thing. I'm 6'2". She's like, you might be too tall to get in that.
No,
thing.
You're not.
No, I'm 6'5" and I fit in it. The little pod that goes all the way to the top. Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'd wait a couple weeks, but yeah.
Oh, and Luch also said, I worked with Walter at a Journey Pro show once, all day without his mask, because he used to wear his lucha masks at all the show, and he had no idea Chris and Murray were the same person.
No, for years I saw Chris with this mask. I had no idea what his face looked like. I could tell you what his eyes looked like and his mouth. No idea what he looked like. And we talked, and he's like, yeah, I wear it to work. I was like, really? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I wear this all the time. And then so finally at the last Journey Pro show, he comes up and shakes my hand, and I didn't know it was him. And we're talking for a minute, and I was just like looking at my wife like, yeah, we gotta go. And I was like kind of staring at him. He's like, it's Lucha Chris. And I was like, what? And then he said it's Murray. And I was like, who the fuck's Murray? And he's like, Lucha Chris. And I was like, oh man, just totally threw me off. Like now it's kind of weird.
He and I worked together at Costco, and actually we found out that we were both wrestling fans because he was up. We were in the food court together, and he was up front. serving the food, and I was in the back making pizzas, and somebody lifted something up, and I was like, "Come on, big strong boy, big strong boy, big strong boy!" You know, the Tyler Bate chant. And he pops his head around. He goes, "Somebody say big strong boy?" And I was like, "You know who Tyler Bate is?" He's like, "You like wrestling?" And like instant friendship right there. So like for the weeks leading up to the last Journey Pro show, he's like, "I think I'm gonna go maskless. I think I'm gonna go," because nobody knew what the fuck he looked like. He would wear like the mask and like a fur coat and just come in looking like this lucha pimp. And it was funny as hell. And so he's like, "I think I'm gonna go maskless and see who notices." And nobody fucking picked up on it. I think one person was just like, "Oh shit," got it from his voice, but oh my God, that was fucking funny. And yeah, I remember Bryan, because he was like, just had that confused look. Oh man, that was fun.
Any confused GIF that you see when you put in confused and you look down, that was me. I was like,
yeah. Just the John C. Riley, just the
yeah. Yeah. It's totally me.
Oh shit. Okay. Another question. This is one thing that actually, since my wife and I started watching, she got into like, she loves all the flippy stuff. She hates the storylines. She's like, you know, so she loves the major spot fest matches, but she also loves like the outfits and the hair extensions. And she's actually gotten me into it that now I could pick up on who has extensions and who has, you know, this and that and stuff. But when it comes to the gear, who designed your gear? Did you design your own gear?
So for the most part, I designed my own gear. When it came to Buddy, that was all kind of designed for me, but it was free. So I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. You can put whatever you want on there. If you're paying for it, it's your design. But no, for the most part, I would design my gear, and I would design it in the Create a Wrestler for SmackDown versus Raws. And then when that went away, I found templates online, and my very crude, Microsoft Paint skills would like help me at least get the basic message out of what I wanted. And then like I would talk to the gear maker, like, and this and this and this, and like we'd go back and forth. But I was really the designer of my gear. I think I designed some of Matt and Gary's gear as well.
That is, holy shit, that is fucking genius, the SmackDown versus Raw thing. And that's when it was the best. That's when it was the most user-friendly, I think. And
here comes the pain. Yeah.
The detail versus the user-friendly interface. I mean, now I don't like it. So it's like, yeah, you're wearing jeans. But oh my God, that's fucking okay. Here's any up and coming wrestler listening, buy yourself a fucking PS2, SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, and then you can design your own fucking wrestling gear. Oh my God, that's fucking clever. You
might be able to do it nowadays. I don't play the current games. I just got a PS5 like for Black Friday. No, I got it earlier this year because a fan of Anarchy and friend gave me a discount because they work at Walmart.
Oh, nice.
So they were like, oh, we had to return one, and I can use my discount if you pay cash. And I'm like, done, because I really wanted to play the Spider-Man games. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and so.
Oh yeah. So, what are your feelings on the Into the Spider-Verse?
Oh, those movies! Oh, I love them.
The cartoon one.
Yeah, they're the best representation of Spider-Man on the big screen. Like, I love Tom Holland. Yeah. I think all of those movies are super fun.
They're good. They're solid.
Yeah, but like that understands Spider-Man fundamentally more than the others do.
Yeah.
I mean, No Way Home was the closest, and we'll see where it goes from there. But like, they get it. Like the shit Parker luck, like putting it on Miles and everything. They understand.
So like my oldest son, he's into comics, and he had seen it. Well, on New Year's, this is what happens when you get old. Well, that's not true. So like the last 15 years since we've had kids, we will get Chinese food on New Year's Eve, and then we'll watch like 2 movies that are usually family friendly. And about 3 years ago, Kyle's like, hey, we got to watch this. It's so good. So we watched it, and I was like, well, that was freaking amazing. You know, the first one. And then I think last year we watched the second one. Like now I'm like, come on, when's the third one coming out?
Yeah.
I think 2026. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a while.
I love those. I don't know. I could be way off, and I'm not a huge comic book reader, but I always thought that Andrew Garfield was the best representation of Peter Parker. At least he played him the best. I mean, Toby was good, and Tom Holland's fun, but Tom Holland's been, Disney-fied. That Spider-Man's. I don't know. I really liked Andrew Garfield's portrayal.
I always thought Toby was the better Peter Parker. Garfield was the better Spider-Man, but Tom Holland is the best mix of both.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man didn't really quip all too much.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was fucking awful. And I don't blame that on him. I blame that on the writers for making him like not the outcast nerd, but like the cool skater boy who's got his own like secret skate park that he goes to. And then Tom Holland was I feel like the best representation of just this little dork who's got these powers. So that's how I hated the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Like they were to me as a Spider-Man fan, they were so fucking bad.
Yeah. They were horrible. And even as a tertiary fan like me, just no.
Yeah, I don't need 2 movies about his parents because they don't matter. Like that's not the point.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad when they did this run with Tom Holland that you didn't get the origin story. We all know his fucking origin. Right. And that's the one origin we didn't need. Everybody else sure, because they haven't got the big screen one, at least not quality. Yeah, unless you go back to the old 1990 Captain America, that was.
With a motorcycle helmet? Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
No. This was that was the early '80s TV movies. No, this is the abortion of a movie that came out in 1990, and it is absolutely wretched. And
I'll have to remember because I remember Generation X and I remember Nick Fury movies in the '90s. I don't remember the Captain America movie.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely wretched. No major stars in it. They made Red Skull Italian. And
that's weird.
But the worst part is Stan Lee is quoted as reading the script and saying it's one of the best scripts he's ever read.
But money. So I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know if they just absolutely butchered the script, but definitely. If you want 2 hours of
on YouTube, if you find it, there's an old lost 60s movie called Italian Spider-Man, and it's an Italian version of Spider-Man.
I've seen clips of that.
It's terrific.
I'm gonna have to watch that tonight.
It's
gonna be great.
It's absolutely wretched.
I hope there are 2 once I have for the third Into the Spider-Verse. It's Italian Spider-Man somewhere in there. And Japanese Spider-Man with what is his mech's name? Oh my God, Leo Pardon showing up.
Okay.
Those are the 2 big ones of mine.
That would be cool.
That
Italian Spider-Man.
Totally
looking that up.
That would be such a deep cut to have Italian Spider-Man in there, because most fans wouldn't know. They'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, I just need him in the background. Like they had multiple other Spider-Men in the background. So yeah,
like Spider Pig. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
you had Spider Pig. You can have Italian Spider-Man,
right?
Yeah. So here's another question: What are your feelings on who is the best Batman and Bruce Wayne?
This is hard. I really liked Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne, but I mean. And we didn't get enough of Ben Affleck's Batman, Bruce Wayne. Like if we would have gotten a solo movie of him, maybe, because I actually think Ben Affleck was really shafted in the whole Snyderverse. Which surprisingly, I'm not a big fan of the Snyderverse. Who would have thought? But I mean, honestly, are we talking just live action? Because obviously the right answer is Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
But live action. I really did like Val Kilmer's like Playboy attitude about being Bruce Wayne, but Michael Keaton, and maybe it's just me, was always the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Like you can't replace Mr. Nanny.
Exactly. Mr. Mom rules, and no, it's pretty same with me. Of course, in 1989, that was the hot thing with Batman.
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah.
But when it came to, because I'm a Keaton fan through and through, but when it came to Ben Affleck being such a fan of the video games, there were a couple of scenes where Ben Affleck turned, and I was like, "That's Bruce Wayne from the fucking video game." They had the square jaw, they had the lighting right, and he bulked up and stuff, and I was like, he looks just like Bruce Wayne from the Arkham series video games. I think they did a great job with that. But yeah, overall, I would definitely say Keaton is my favorite.
I am interested to see where they go with Robert Pattinson for the Batman 2, because the Batman was very much a year one story, and I appreciated it. But now I kind of want to see where they go with year 2 to see whether or not they decide to actually develop the Bruce Wayne character, or if he's just more the Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I really like that. A lot of people gave it shit, and I was just like, it was.
I thought it was great. Yeah,
I thought it was wonderful. And I think because people didn't want the brooding Batman, and it was like, well, you got the story as to why he was kind of fucking angry. So no, I really enjoyed the Batman.
I thought it went on too long, but I didn't need, after he stopped the original villains, I didn't need that second piece of him fighting all these different Riddler goons. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just sometimes you lose as a superhero, like in Infinity War, you lose, but you become better and you come back for it. So we'll see. I wonder if they're going to pull No Man's Land since of what they did by the end of that movie. But we'll see.
Yeah, be interesting for sure.
Yeah. I'd also be a fan of if they use Mr. Freeze, and please don't make it real Mr. Freeze. I hate.
Yeah.
Please stop trying to make my comic books into real life. Comic book movies. Like, if you don't want to use the silly suit, sure. But I think if Deadpool and Wolverine showed us anything, it's like, that's what we want. We want the fun. We want the whimsy of a comic book movie. Like, I don't want to know about how this could be real in my world, because it's not real and it's never going to be real. So shut up.
Exactly.
Like,
on that note, who's your favorite villain? Now, it could be MCU. It could be that's just in the movies.
From the movies.
Yeah, comic book villain in movies.
Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin by a mile.
He was great.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Although I did kind of like Danny DeVito's Penguin, though.
That was also very good. Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, obviously. Like, come on, guys, and ladies. Man, there's a lot of good ones. I'm optimistic about Robert Downey Jr. returning as Dr. Doom.
I feel that.
Yeah, I feel that's more of a grab. Like, hey guys, we know the MCU's kind of been mediocre lately, so here's a face you recognize. But as long as he's not like the long-term Doom, I think it's fine. It's whatever. Right. There's comic stories where Doom and Iron Man have swapped places or swapped bodies, so it's like whatever.
Right.
I'm excited for Fantastic Four. Like, I saw the leaked screenshot of Galactus, so fingers crossed.
It should be good. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And it's just a personal thing. I'm getting sick of Pedro Pascal. He's fucking in everything. But I'll still check it out. But yeah, I still wish they would have went with John Krasinski. I think he was.
I like John Krasinski as an already established Reed Richards. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
But I feel like since we're rebooting him, it makes sense, because there's a screenshot. Apparently, this Mr. Fan, they're still they haven't gotten their powers, and he's like a Bill Nye guy. And I think that's really fun, where they're making Reed Richards like Mr. Fantastic, the science guy.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets the name. I'm like, that's super cute. I like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see that for sure.
Oh. But yeah, I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine last week. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. Going to see it again with my son this week. Yeah, and like you were saying, yeah, it gave us exactly what we wanted. Just the let go of everything and just have fun.
Right. When he put the mask on, people in my theater stood up and applauded. And I was like, see, that's what, like, there's no reason to be ashamed of. If you don't want to do a superhero movie, don't do a superhero movie. You know what I mean? Don't be ashamed to be what it is. Like, so a movie came out that I am a big fan of the franchise, and Borderlands. I love those games.
Me too.
And the movie, like, I haven't seen it, and my wife's trying to get me to go just to hate watch it, but like nothing good sounds like it's coming from it. The trailers look like shit. The casting's all wrong. Look, Kevin Hart, God bless you for trying to be an action hero. I hope it works out for you. This was not his role. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need Jack Black as Claptrap. There's already a voice for Claptrap. He's not a real person, so you can just have the voice actor do it. You know, Kate Blanchett is an amazing actor. Don't need her as Lilith. Like, this whole movie was done wrong. Like, Eli Roth, like, I don't know what the fuck that dude was thinking. I think he said in an interview, he was like, I wasn't casting for the game. I was casting for the movie. It's like, then don't do the fucking movie.
If you're going to ignore source material.
Right. Like, it's like, it's embarrassing because then my wife's like, well, why? What's different about it? It's like, everything. Let's go through it. But it got my wife interested in playing Borderlands 2, which I feel is the best Borderlands. But Borderlands 3's controls are the best by far in the series. The story, not great. The controls and the gameplay and the gunplay, super fun.
Well, I like Borderlands 2. Well, the original Borderlands, I think, had my favorite character. Was it Mordecai with the eagle? He was my favorite one of all the ones and stuff. I think the Borderlands 3 characters were kind of weak.
I always like a mech, so I went with Maz, however you say it. My favorite Vault Hunter is Gage, the Necromancer, just because of her backstory being she created this murder bot to teach her class rival a lesson from stealing from her. And the robot ended up killing the class rival. So she had to go to Pandora to get away from the authorities. And she just kept building this murder bot. And I was like, yep, you're my favorite. This backstory is terrific. I love it. I love everything about you.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mordecai because he has a hawk or some kind of bird of prey.
Whatever their version of a hawk is. You could get this bird so overpowered that it will fly out there and you'll just watch it pop people's heads off, and you're just standing on like a mountain ridge, like, my job here's done, and I think the new one I have only played as Moj yet because I try and like oscillate games I play. Like I played Spider-Man 1, and then I played Borderlands, and then I played Animal Well. So I try not to like stay too long, but I downloaded all the DLC for Borderlands 3, and Mordecai shows up more. Gage, like they bring all the characters back, which is super fun.
Yeah.
I'm currently playing a game called Dave the Diver, which is super silly and super fun. You're a diver, and you also own a sushi restaurant, and so you're diving to catch fish for the sushi, but you also discover like the lost continent of Atlantis or sea people. And then just today, I found out there's a Godzilla downloadable content for the game, which I downloaded, and so I'm excited to do that.
Nice.
And I was telling Serge about it because both Serge and I are huge Godzilla fans. Because as much as I love Deadpool and Wolverine, my movie of the year still is Godzilla -1.
I still have to see it. I still have to see that.
I haven't seen that either.
It's so fucking good. When it comes to Blu-ray, I'm just buying it day one, unless I've already missed it and it's already out. But it's so good. Like
that's what everybody says. And see, my wife absolutely loves Godzilla. She likes the Toho Godzilla movies. Just she's seen them all multiple times and stuff, but I'm trying to get her to watch. She hasn't seen any of the new,
they're
Godzilla
different, but
Kongverse.
fun. Yeah,
they're a blast.
Yeah, they're like action popcorn flicks, whereas like some of the Toho and earlier Godzilla are like actual like issues facing Japan for whatever reason put into movie. They're oddly more political for a man in a giant rubber fucking dinosaur costume, which is great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But now I will have to show you in person, or now I did a custom Godzilla Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, please do show me that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because the last 2 years they put out it's a Nissan Skyline that had 2 different variations of the stickers on it, the tampos. Last year's was blue. This one's all black. Oh, I took last year's and I color changed the car to purple. It was white, and I put gold wheels on it, and it just chef's kiss. I mean, I hate to pat myself on the back, but it came out really well.
You did a good job. You earned it.
You know.
Yeah, like I always show off. Like if you follow my Instagram, I show a lot of my Lego stuff because I'm a big Lego guy and I'm a big D&D guy, and like Lego and D&D are perfect for each other. So I get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you could build some major fucking maps with that. Oh man.
And your minifigures can change as you like level up and get armor and stuff, or so one of the fun stories we had is a buddy of ours was a thief, and he had convinced a powerful magician to trade gear for a minute because he's like, oh, I've got this fancy crown, wouldn't you love to wear a crown? So he steals this wizard's robe and hat, and then on the little Lego figure, we took his stuff off, we gave him a little wizard robe and a little wizard hat, and he bolted, and it was hilarious.
It's kind of an awesome setup there.
Yeah.
Here, wouldn't you like to wear this?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
And this is why I couldn't play Dungeons and Dragons, because I'd be, oh yeah, I do. I want to wear that. Like,
that's why I play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to do
people
this.
like me.
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, just had my kitty jump in my lap. It was funny too. The whole vacation we were trying to figure out names and stuff, and as a joke, I was like Danzig, and then my wife was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, I said it as a joke, but the more I think about it, the more I really like it. She's like, yeah, me too. And we texted our daughter, and she was like, I kind of like that too. I could call him Ziggy for short. And then his real name was Robert, so we kept the Robert because my wife's favorite band is The Cure, so Robert Smith, and got Glenn Danzig. So yeah,
perfect.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I think we're about to wrap this up here because
we've been going about an hour and 20 minutes.
An hour and 20, and know you're still got a young one at home, and don't want to keep you from your wife.
That's right. Is there anything else you guys want to know about? I'm happy to tell you, or come back at a later time.
Yeah, we could do. Oh, definitely have you back, man. This was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We got. When's the next Anarchy show?
I want to say it's September 27th. Do It for the Brand is the name of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is there a Pat McAfee tie-in?
No, Jesus.
No.
We've been using Do It for the Brand and hashtag Feel Something for a couple of years now. So yeah.
Well, Do It for the Brand's been around for what, since the relaunch, probably.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good show. We got some fun returns that we haven't announced yet, and some like 2 debuts, which will be amazing.
Very cool. Very cool.
What I think we announced, I think it was Gary's match, so I think we announced that. So
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and then October 29th, we have Journey to Anarchy at Guitars and Cadillacs and OP Kansas, OPKS, formerly Kansas Hall. And if anybody wants to follow you and check you out and check out Anarchy, what are the handles for everything? So
Twitter is pistol_danger, STL Anarchy for Anarchy. On Instagram, it's more of my personal Instagram, so I can't always guarantee I'll follow people back because I don't follow a lot of wrestling people that aren't my friends, but it's also Pistol Danger. So if you want to see pictures of my dog and Legos and shit like that, go for it. I'm happy to have you there, but otherwise, I don't take it personally because people are like, oh man, like look at all these wrestling clips. It's like, no, I'm good. Thank you though. That's why I have the Twitter.
Yep.
Facebook's Gelistico. Also Buddy Shepherd _. if you just want some positivity. So, I'm around.
Everybody
Very
needs the
cool.
positivity. You
Yeah.
know?
Everybody needs to let Buddy come inside him at least once.
At least once.
Really touch the heart.
And maybe once on the shirt.
Yep.
That's a story that you'll get out of the podcast.
All right, yeah. Make sure you send me that link because, like I said,
I'll do that right after the show. One thing that we do is we put it on Spotify. We have a playlist, and we started this off with we interviewed each other the first ever show, and we each listed 3 songs. So now each time we have a guest on, the guest will give us a song by an artist, and we'll put it on the playlist. So we have kind of a time capsule of what we've done.
Okay.
So if you think of a song, Pat and I will go first if you want us to, unless you have one already.
So I think I fucked up earlier, and when you told me this in DMs, I think I immediately told you Fleetwood Mac the Chain.
Yeah.
I can't imagine somebody's already said that because it's such a good song.
They have not. Not that I'm aware of.
I'm going to stick with my original answer because it's an amazing song.
Yeah. Agreed.
But also Ghostbusters by Ray Park.
What?
Ray Parker.
Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters.
Fleetwood Mac the Chain.
Mm-hmm.
It should be on Spotify.
There it is.
If it's not on Spotify, then we've done something wrong.
I got it. And adding that to Two Old Goats. Yeah, and this is on the Two Old Goats podcast on Spotify. Yeah, because I make all my playlists are all public and stuff. So you can search the Two Old Goats, and you will get everything from Fleetwood Mac to divorced dad butt rock to hardcore punk to.
It is a crazy list.
Yeah,
very, very crazy list.
All right, what do you got, Bryan?
So I based mine off of. I try to go with like a theme, like I know it's not like a comic book, but it's a graphic novel. I am a huge fan of The Crow, the original Brandon Lee movie, and the actual graphic novel. So I'm going to go with Burn by The Cure.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because that is like what song I think of when I see the movie, And I
wonder if they're going to remix it for the new one.
Isn't the new one already out? I think it came out in June.
Is it? I have no idea.
I will not watch that movie.
Okay.
It is nothing like the graphic novel. It is nothing like. Sorry.
No, I get it. It's fine. I understand.
I will be on the soapbox, and I will need Buddy Shepard big time.
Bill Skarsgård is another one I'm getting sick of. We have so many actors. Why are Pedro Pascal and Bill Skarsgård in everything? But on a side note, I got to see The Cure 5 times last year, and they played Burn at every show. And just watching Jason drum the drum solo in the beginning. Oh man. You want to talk about going just full mass, anyway, I'm going to go with I think I have another song by them on there but my wife and I went to a concert the other night, and there's a very small newer kind of unknown goth band called Urban Heat, but they're just so fucking good. And they just released a new album. They just really, and one of the songs on there is called 7 Safe Places, and it's probably my favorite song by them. So I am adding that. They are, if you want, hold on, there we go. I can't talk and add at the same time. I'm too old for that shit. No, yeah. If you want, it's just good kind of dancey music and stuff. But oh god, they're so fucking good, and they should be so much bigger than they are. If you like Sisters of Mercy and Bauhaus and Joy Division and stuff like that, they're definitely in your wheelhouse. So anyway, So we got Anarchy coming up next month. We got. Journey to Anarchy the month after that. You got plenty of times to get puked and pooped on between now and then.
I believe.
Right? Yeah.
Is this your first kid?
Yes. First time.
First and only, one and done.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's cost me my life, so yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, I shouldn't be laughing at that, but just the way you put it.
I can laugh at it now. I almost died conceiving my son. I get it. I mean, they always ask, like, how do you want to go on? I'm like, well, I almost did, so.
I mean, that's, I mean, well, see, now urban legend is that you wrestled Shaza McKenzie the night before.
Yes.
We'll go with that.
No, I'll go with conceiving my son. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to give her credence or her nickname, Heartbreak Core, any credence.
Yeah, that's true. We probably shouldn't do that.
Hey, really, that's the what every 13-year-old boy. How you want to die? I want to go out fucking.
Yep.
Oh shit. Okay, so
on that note,
So we the way we started with you not on camera, that professionalness, that's how we end. So none of us are, Bryan and I aren't admins. So basically all we do is just leave the room. And I let Jukebox know that we're done because, we're pros here. So once again, we'll definitely have you back, Evan. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. It was fun chatting with you and getting to know you as not the asshole in the gold pants jumping around.
Yeah.
But no, and I'm so happy that you're healthy and stuff. I totally forgot about it. I remembered later on that, everybody talking about it. But yeah, I'm happy you're healthy and you're with us, and you got the Minotaur heart. So for the JG's Lounge, for me, for Bryan J. Baby, for Evan Gelistico, thank you so much. And everyone's just going to bounce out of here. Take care, guys.
See you guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.